Right, so holding the Falcon in my hand, I've lined up some of the pins, mainly the big ones. You've got that one there, that one there. There's one at the back just through that hole. So I'm hoping with them three lined up, all the other pins should line up into place. I've pulled the wires out, the long ones, and tied them all together with a metal cable tie that you get with any device, like a controller wire for an Xbox or controller wire for a PlayStation, something like that. So I've just tied all those up together. You got that one there. That's the short one between the landing feet. So you got like the T16 with the light there, and the T16 with the light there, the collar. So that's pulled out. The one from the cockpit tunnel, that's still taped onto the bridge for the engine plate. So looking inside, I've managed to manoeuvre them all around the pegs. Instead of them sitting on the peg hole, I've had to manoeuvre them all around the side. So like I said, it's like an empty chasm, trying to get all the wires so that I'll get trapped when this goes down. There's the one from the cockpit tunnel. So I'm hoping all them pegs are going to line up very, very easy indeed. So putting this back down. So like I said, that's all out. That's that there, and you can see all the jungle of wires, them all sitting around the sides. So when this goes down, I'm hoping this should go down very, very easy indeed. So let's see what happens. Right, so the lid is now all on. So the Falcon is all now shut up. With the four main pins, or whatever it was, I think there was like the ones I showed you, 1, 2, 3, 4. There were subsequent other pins, so I had to like pull it this side slightly to get it to catch. Once I pushed that down very slightly, then I pulled this side to get that to catch all the way around. I've got a couple of concerns. I mean, you've got that, there's like a gap there. I don't know if it's supposed to be on purpose, because that there feels like it should be behind those two rods. I don't know if that is on purpose. So those of you who've done this, can you let me know if that's supposed to be on purpose? Feels like there's a slight gap there as well on the front. On the underneath, if I lift it slightly, same again. Slight gaps. I'm hoping that's on purpose, to be honest, because I can't push it in anymore. Because you've got like the rods, they stop it from fully securing, and you've got like little square tabs and bits and bobs, they stop that from securing. But generally, I'm happy how it's gone together. It went together quite easy, to be honest. I was a bit concerned about this panel though, because as I pushed it down, that panel like went down slightly, and I thought, great, it's going to come loose. So I had to get my fat fingers in here and like push that back up. But generally, I'm happy, really happy how it went together really well. The LEDs are still working. So that's those three. Putting that down for a minute. Turning that round. I've still got the blue hue from the engines, exhausts. It's still showing through really, really nice. Still got the jungle of the wires of the battery packs, as you can see. But I just put the battery pack and connected it all up just to make sure everything still works. I'm just so glad I managed to untrap the wires from around the pegs and like have them round the pegs, because on this side, on the inside, there's like a lip that points down, and I wasn't sure if the lips that point down would trap the wires, but it doesn't look like it hasn't. It's still quite loose. So that's all that together now. So now starts the outer hull construction. Now the Falcon's all closed up. It's just 2 more parts to complete the page. So still on page 31. So if you remember, feeding all the wires through the engine exhaust area, not get them tangled, pushing down on the pegs. Now it's telling me to complete the page, I've got to turn the Falcon over and put 2 parts on, 2 little side panels, and then go on the side pod area here. So I've got that piece. So you just got like some little tabs that go into these little channel slots here. Just getting rid of that bit of dust, because you know anything that's white when it comes to model like light, it tracks bloody dust like a magnet. So that will go in the little slots there. So pushing that in, make sure all the slots, yeah. Right, get in your bloody thing. Go on. Actually, I might have to, instead of doing it like that, push it down, just see what happens. Line all the slots up. Oh, get on. These are very stiff indeed. I'm just going to pause this a sec. Right, very stiff indeed that was. It was mainly this part here at the front, and you can still see there's a tiny bit of a gap. So basically what I had to do is I had to pop it back out, and the little tab went into the channel. I just had to give it a quick sand and push that into place, push that in, and then push them into place after. I'm just wondering if the one on the other side is just going to be as bloody stiff. So I don't know if you can make it out, but right there, you got these 2 little like raised bits. I think them are to make it lock into place, I don't know. But I'm having to like give it a quick sand because I don't know if there's any excess on there, I don't know. But those were very stiff indeed. I've never, I can't believe how stiff there was. I mean, I've had stiff parts on this build, but these are probably the stiffest part yet. Just don't understand why they're so bleeding stiff. Right, so let's try this again on this side. Just open it ace as stiff. Right, that went in dead easy. No, that one was dead easy compared to that one. And that's that done to complete page 31. Right, welcome back. The next page along is boarding ramp and the first part of the turret work for Luke. So you've got the option whether to do closed or open. This is your closed bay. So what you do is you just put that straight on top and snap it into place. But I want to have options for both, so you know when people come round and want to have a look at it, I can actually prise this off and then put the boarding ramp, open boarding ramp section. So there's my boarding ramp. You get 2 parts. You've got the outer part, and then you've got the ramp itself, which I've masked off and pledge futured the edges, because the ramp goes right down the middle, the black part, and then these connectors will go on like that to form the ramp. So I've done that. I've also primed it and sprayed it in the insignia white, and the insignia white's actually brought the detail out really well. I'm most proud of the actual boarding ramp walls themselves. The insignia white is actually pulled slightly in the recessed areas, and when it's drying, it's actually conformed itself to the detail, and it's really brought out the detail, even on the other side, the outer edge. So here's the other one, the outer edge, lovely. It's really brought out that definition. You've got the side walls of the gunner seat itself. I'm going to be leaving it in the primer grey, and then just do the detailing on top of that, because these are actually quite grey. I've looked at some photos and other people's builds, and there's more grey than black. It ain't like the cockpit where it's mostly black. So there's the other one as well. So that's that. I've primed the gunner seat. The controls I'm still on the sprue, but they've been primed. I'm not going to bother spray painting that. I'm just going to like bring out some of the detail with some silver and that. But yeah, so that's that. So with that being said, it's time to get cracking on with this, like detailing it all up. Right, first off, bit of good news. It's now Sunday the 12th, and I've finally had my first test back negative for COVID. Wife and kids have still got it. They've got to test themselves tomorrow, so hopefully they come back negative as well. Right, with that being said, I've now finished off the gunner seat area and the boarding ramp. So I've put the two pieces of the boarding ramp together, painted some of the hydraulic rods in the middle with the silver. As you know, I've masked off the ramp and painted that in the black. So that's that done, and put that all together. So you put those two together and then put them on the some tabs and little square rods on the ramp, on the actual boarding part, the part of the ramp, and you just push that together, push that down, and that's my boarding ramp done. So whenever people do come round to see it, I'll take the plate off and put that on as well. So I'm going to have both options. Right, so that's that sorted. Luke is now mounted to his seat, his gunner seat. So I've painted the seat itself in the anthracite. The seat cushions and the little roundel behind his head so I painted the seat cushions in black, the little roundel behind his head in silver, and then just picked out some of those details on the seat in the silver. The handlebars for the controls, the stick goes between his legs into the seat with a little mounting notch. Luke's little back mounting notch is there, you can just about see just in front of my finger. Once I've put the control stick handlebars on, then put the main gunner seat console in, and that mounted into a hole just in front of his seat there, in between his legs, just below the control stick. And I've just picked out a few details, put a bit of silver and gunmetal just to pick out the console detail. The actual walls of the gunner area itself, again, just left them in the primer grey and just painted everything else on by hand. The black console backing, the red console backing. Just painted some white on first, then the red on top of that, and then just picked out some of them wires in the aluminium stroke silver and gunmetal for the wire back here, just in front of my thumb. Painted some of the 41 ivory on the wall, waited for that to dry, give that about 3 or 4 coats, and just got my 0.05mm mark fine liner and just put the panel line in. So that's that one done. It's turned out quite nicely actually. Going to the other part of the wall, now this one didn't really need painting that much, so I just picked it out in black, some white for the red pieces and the colour pieces, and just put some greens and reds on for the switches and dials. That's all that needed doing to that, so that ain't too bad. So with that being said, all this is now ready to be put together. Right, so looking at that, you can't really see any detail in there, and unfortunately there's no LED to go in there. There's no kit supplied LED to sit where my finger is now at the back to go inside. So if I put the flash on, you could see the detail perfectly. So I don't know whether I'm going to have to get one of my LEDs with a 9-volt battery switch and like put it through the back and then like have it glued into the corner there or something. So I've got some LEDs. I just got the 9-volt battery clips, so I've ordered some of them off eBay. I've ordered 10 for like $2.99 free postage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how that goes in the back of there, and then if needs be, I'm going to have to put a 9-volt battery pack inside. Well, I'm going to have to probably tape it to that battery box. So we'll see what happens. But that's how it looks. It's not too bad actually, so I'm quite happy with that. Right, I've just realised I've actually got 2 spare connectors, because it doesn't say anything about LEDs for the turret area, the turret seat area. So I'm just wondering, I mean, I've had to get myself some more 9-volt battery clips anyway. I'm just wondering if I could buy another 2 of these to plug into these 2 spare slots and feed them through here and in the underneath, and then use them to light, get another 2 LEDs to light the gunner seat areas. So any of you have built this, or some of you who have some electrical knowledge, could I get the same wire with that connector with an LED off eBay or Amazon, you know, just for 2, for, I don't know, for about a tenner or something? I mean, hell, I'd probably go up to 15 quid if I had to. I could buy 2 wires, or just have one pairing both, you know, like underneath there, with underneath there where you got that one there and one there. I'm wondering if I could have the one wire just linking, well, the one connector linking 2 LEDs for Hans and Luke's turret area. So let me know, guys, because if I can pick another couple, they only have to be Bandai, as long as they work and it don't affect the Bandai box, that's fine. So if you guys can give me some recommendations, then I can get another 2 of those. Saves me having to put a 9-volter in there and then probably blue tack the battery to the top of that or something, or just have it like fiddling around in there. I'd rather have it all powered off the one box.